Yo 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 yo. Here we are, back at it again. We got Joey in from Florida, for Christ's sake,
Booyakasha.
and we got Cass,
Yep.
the sweetie,
Still here.
still back, and of course me,
Yeah.
your boy.
The boy. Remember.
Yeah.
Remember.
Oh yeah, remember.
Remember. Remember. That's
Un-
honestly the funniest conceptual shirt I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it's just twice. It's a message twice. It doesn't say what to remember.
Well, but I mean that's the whole thing. It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Just remember whatever. And I love that it's not like remember like a question. It's like remember.
Remember.
Yeah.
Remember.
It's like a wake-up shirt.
Where did you get remember from?
I was when we were shooting the Kurt Vile documentary. We ended up having to stay down in Philly an extra night, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker's just seeing me in the same clothes every day. Can we just like go grab a shirt? And we just walked into a thrift store, and this was sitting there
Oh,
in
wow.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Remember.
My favorite shirt. I only wear it like in the summer.
We'll have to do some nice thrifting because middle America or even just cross America thrifting is genuinely good because you can just get different styles from every different place.
Yeah. We're about to hit the road, Jack.
Don't you come back no more, no more.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be coming at you from some exciting places.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to record podcasts in like all these interesting places.
Fucking.
We're at Cass's dad's house right now.
Yep.
It's an interesting place. It's my favorite place.
It's really nice.
Do you ever think about that? Like get very specific about it? Because I've said this when we get in the sauna over there. I'm like, this is my favorite place in the whole universe. This is like my favorite physical place to be. And all it is just a wood room that gets really hot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like it. I don't know. It's just like it's the place that I feel most at peace. And when I'm far across the world, when I'm dreaming about being home, that's what I'm thinking about. Is being in there with my girl.
I think mine is now Nelson Ledges.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say you've brought that up before. It's like
Nelson
Yeah,
Ledges
like
Quarry Park.
Yeah, the just like being at the quarry and the fresh water and the fishes and the sun shining. Like when Devin hypnotizes me, he's like, go to a calm, relaxing place, and that's where I go.
Yo, this is so funny. When me and Joey were just on a walk yesterday, and he says, when Devin hypnotizes me, I picture going into something. He pointed, there was like a forest ahead of us.
yeah. It was like I really love forestry and just dense foliage and like when he did hypnotize me, I was in like this field, and then slowly there was like bigger trees here, spaced out a little more, and then just a row of trees that I just entered into. It's kind of like the Connecticut woods reminiscent, but
Yeah.
I'd say the real home, but we don't even live there anymore, is in Connecticut, like where I grew up, because we lived in that house for like 20 years, 21 years or something. And then, but probably my parents' house in Florida with my family.
Yeah, like the place you feel like most comfortable, most at home. And it's good to know what that place is, because when I'm in that place, I charge up and cultivate that feeling, and then I just become the traveling version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just use it as like, oh, I'm thinking about something I don't want to think about. So let me time travel someplace else.
Yeah.
I kind of just like, I'm like, oh, I could think about this thing and obsess about this thing, and I know I don't want to be. So I just am like, or I could just pretend I'm like meditating at the center of the universe in my safe space, you know?
Yeah. We're all time travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Just where you physically are and that sense of peace that you gain from that, that is just what you're looking for in yourself. Like that.
Yeah.
When and it's like it's cool to have the physical reminder. Like I know where it is easy for me to think in that scape, like the exact physical location, and that helps. But you're trying to search for that like outside when you're outside the world, because that's really what it is. Like we create very, like Kurt Vonnegut says, is like very tight knit family survival units.
Yeah.
And then once you branch out from there, it's like you're in the wild. But in reality, how probably would be better for us socially is like tight knit community, like a huge community,
not just a survival unit.
Yeah.
But basically he's saying that's what family's been whittled down to.
Yeah, survival units, and just very specific, like, this is where you get your love or comfort from, when it's like it can be and should be from various sources, all ideally located right around you, like not oh, hey, one of my best friends lives in LA. Oh, he's one of the pleasure sensors, but LA sucks, but he's there. It's like
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. When you find yourself around those people or in those places, it's like download it. You know?
Yeah.
Download it for when you're offline out in the wild.
Yep.
You can just be like, oh, I'm that thing. I
Yeah.
can be that guy or that place for other people.
But then, like we're doing, like exploring out into the unknown is also one of the great fucking gifts of probably a first world country. But I don't know, just the gift of like tribalism or anything is when you venture out and you come back.
I think it's one of the incredible things about America that we take for granted is like how big this place is and vast, and that like you can do what we're about to do and go out on a 3-4 week road trip and not even nearly cover this place.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in
No.
a lot of places, you know, without hitting a border or a place you can't go or whatever. Here you're really free to travel 3,500 miles across the country, and as much as I like to joke around, and we'll see this, that it is just like an endless strip mall.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful place with beautiful people who are really wild and free and addled and addicted, and like it's just like all of the the whole fucking spectrum of human emotions
Is in these strip malls.
it's out there. I mean, it has nowhere else to go.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to squash it out. It just gets dwindled down to strip malls or Walmarts or bodegas or whatever.
Just a complete lack of character everywhere you turn.
Yeah.
So the people have to be the ones to embody it. Since
Exactly.
our places won't.
Yeah, exactly. Like the perfect Walmart employee, if you were really sincerely the perfect on paper best Walmart employee, you're just a robot essentially. You're a greeter or you're stocking shelves. It's like, people bring their personality, or you're checking people out. It's like they already have computers that do that because that's the job that it calls for. The little personality is a little spice on top.
Yeah.
A little nice little.
And a lot of people are like, I don't need that.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I'd rather just interface with a robot.
I'm tired of people. I hate people.
You can't even buy things nowadays that have like, you can't buy a bench that's not just like a plastic plain piece of crap, because they want to appeal to the most amount of people, and so the way they do that is they put no detail in anything, and detail is like also I guess expensive because you need someone to design it and someone to have a craftsmanship. But it's funny hearing your mom like upset every day, and I don't blame her, but she's like, the umbrella broke, like this umbrella lasted, or the hose is splitting in half every year. She's like, the hose we had before this lasted 20 years, and now every year they're getting a new hose.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this with washer and dryers. Like my parents have had one for like 25 years, same here, and it's like it's going good. We want to keep it as long as possible because when you go to replace it, it's made like shit now. It's designed to fail on you. They're not designed to be repaired.
Yeah.
Which just fucking breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like nothing's designed to be repaired anymore.
Same with phones and Macs and everything like that. Like it's like, oh, here, you're going to pay for the highest quality thing, but you can't customize it. You can't. Basically, they know once the Apple Care of 3 years wears off, your computer's going to be basically shitty.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks. Mine's 3 years old already, and I'm like, I take good care of my computer though,
but like, and the reason I ever even draw attention to it is because it's like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But I think it seeps into the way we treat each other. I think that people become very disposable, and it's a shame. It's a shame that we're in such a disposable culture, and that people then become disposable to each other. And that's in lots of ways. Like a lot of times it's just like a mental thing. Like it's just a compartmentalizing, judging, and writing off of someone. Yeah. But like literally cutting people out and cutting people off and trying to cancel people and coming after their livelihood. All of this shit is new, and I do think it's a result of our like extremely disposable consumerist culture we're in right now. And like,
well, think about even like on Amazon, how many times have you looked at something on I know you never use Amazon, but how many times have you looked on Amazon and you're like, oh, that'll do, it'll be here in 2 days, awesome, it's $6.99 for some reason, it should be like probably more, but look, I'm getting a deal. You buy it and it's like, it's good for that use, but that's really it. And then it's like, fuck, it'll break. It's like a short-term solution. And then same thing with like social circles or Instagram or any of these things where you're reaching out to people like, oh shit, this guy's a director I see has 100,000 followers. And it's like at the end of the day, you're like, oh cool, you use them for what they're worth. And then it's like, oh cool, wait, I wasn't really supposed to even really be able to contact this person or talk to this person. Like I have nothing in common with them, but I got a job out of it or something. Like it's like and obviously social media can be great. Like I found you guys through art, not really social media.
No, I know. You were a
But
young
yeah.
buck, just reached out, and I said, "I'm here for you." I think about all the people that probably slipped through the cracks. Like I happened to see and answer your email. That was like 1 out of 20.
Yeah.
I just happened to be like, "Oh, cool. What's this? All right. Oh, cool. I'll write back to this guy." Like, if I hadn't, like, we wouldn't even know each other.
It's because it took me an hour and a half to write that email.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I could feel like I'm like, this one felt. Let me click on this one.
Yeah.
It probably took time.
I think the important one was like the letter header was like free iPad. You wanted it, and that's what made you click. No, I'm kidding.
No, it is. It's crazy to think that like me not responding to an email or accidentally or reading it without responding and then just forgetting about it or whatever could have changed the course of my life.
Yeah, it's like,
you know,
Steve. We made that film. The fucking
totally.
Yeah.
He wrote a message to an old Facebook fan account that I had that I didn't even think I had access to anymore, and then I was like, whoa, I could still get in this. I clicked on it. He had sent me a note to that. It was like the first note to that fucking Facebook account in years. He had sent it the day before. He's like, I heard you on a podcast. Come give me mushrooms. I was like, we're making a movie, baby.
Babe, we're coming. We're coming.
We're coming for you, baby. Check out American Sunset. And check out Wooks, our movie
Yeah.
Wooks. We're very proud of it.
Wooks
We're about
is
to go
great.
make a new one called Wild Magic. We're gonna attempt to make it. We're gonna attempt to embody, and then therefore be able to see and then capture what we think is almost a necessary vibe to know about in this country, to not get depressed with how fucking homogenized everything's become. So I want this movie to help people just see in a slightly different way, and we're gonna get to have a lot of fun with like playing with the poetry of what does that. Yeah, this one feels like lyrical. It feels like when we get back to the edit, it'll be like composing a song. Like, does this make sense? Does this phrase make sense here? Okay, now it should open up. Here's a breakdown. Here's a jam out. Here's a bridge. This is what the chorus of this film feels like. You know, I don't know.
No, I agree. I agree. I think embody so that we can see it and capture it is definitely it. Like, if we carry like with every film, the vibe that you carry is going to attract the people that you're going to talk to and the experiences you're going to gather and to just capture. Yeah. It's like, especially with Wooks, we had to literally embody just being dirty and living in the woods.
Yeah, it's weird because like as we were doing it, I didn't even realize we were doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's always like the joke going into it. It's like, if we're gonna do this, we got to be like them or whatever. But then we do seek our creature comforts.
Yeah.
But then by the end, we just did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And we were just Wooks.
Bye, John.
Little dab break.
A little dab break.
Dabby
Sponsored.
daddy.
Sponsored by Papaya Enzymes.
But I feel like, I guess we could get into fucking whatever territory, but I feel like taking on these projects, or, yeah, I guess I could call them projects. You need to get high? You gotta loosen up, girl.
I feel very tight.
Yeah. We gotta get you loose. Take some poppers.
You feel tight, my baby?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I think like it was what I was about to just say. It's like me and Joey were talking about this before. Like the challenges that seem to present themselves, like before we go do space camp or we go to make a movie or whatever. There's always that fucking moment, like even right before we take drugs.
Yeah.
Where you're like, we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Or you know,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that's probably not the best way of putting it, but like. Just like the last challenge, the dweller on the threshold, just waiting there. Like, hey, I got one more for you. You think you're a filmmaker? You think you're embodying
What
wild
about
magic?
this rash?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about
What about this fucking
Joey shows up to New York with a fucking rash.
so itchy?
Ay, ay,
Such an
ay.
itchy guy. But yeah, there is like that final grasp of what it's like, the guardian of the fucking threshold. Or,
Yeah.
You know, right before you jump into the Joseph Campbell fucking, what am I talking about?
The hero's journey.
Hero's journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like right before you cross the threshold. That's what it is. It's like.
And I do think that's what separates the real ones from, the people that probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the only thing right now that's helping me push forward.
Yeah.
Is like literally a future version of me being like, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Go out there and make the fucking movie you've said you were going to be making this summer.
Yep.
And do it.
Yep.
And that's what we got to do, even though
I agree.
We're struggling.
Yeah, even though we're struggling, but it's. I think you're right. It's like that important thing, and you do get. I hate using this word because I used it 4 times since yesterday, but like you get dividends from the fucking pay from the. Oh, really? I used dividends like 3 times. We were talking about deductibles and.
Yeah.
Anyways. Lots of things, but no, it's like you get the dividends from putting the effort in. It's like it's not always instant, but like following that vibe or that journey that maybe you don't feel the signal as strong right now, but it's still pulling you along.
I feel like it's telling us we have to do this more than ever.
Yeah.
It's like this weird back and forth of like, I don't know. I do feel like
Click it.
Yeah, of course I'm not like.
Don't even hit it till it vibrates.
Yeah.
Super psyched right now. The elephant in the room being that Mare broke up with us, or we broke up with Mare. We broke up together. Yeah. I don't know. A breakup happened really fast, faster than I could even know what was going on. You know?
I don't think we broke up with anyone.
I mean, I told her we weren't trying to break up with you. If you saw that as a breakup, like it wasn't, but it was like, you know. So yeah, you go from laughing to blocked on everything. So literally. And like the only thing so this with Wild Magic, like I feel like it's the medicine we need, you know.
It's the medicine we're most familiar with is filmmaking.
And I think we're in a period of becoming, and when one door closes, another one opens, and all the cliches upon cliches. But I do have like, at least I think we could just talk about it, whatever. I have a pretty clear conscience about this breakup, where I haven't always had that kind of thing. Like, I feel like we really tried to do right by Mare. I feel like we did do right by Mare. I feel like, unfortunately, miscommunication happens, and then it solidifies when someone's like, I mean, Mare always told us, I'm not going to be your friend if we break up.
Mm-hmm.
She made that very clear. So in some ways I have no choice but to like respect her and support her without contacting her anymore, even though I've written her like 5 emails or something. Yeah, it's crazy, but
yeah, it's the end of an era for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a closing of a chapter, and it's like a nuclear bomb went off on your heart. So I feel like the timing of this is just it's insane, because like we have to go do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it were something that we funded with our own money, I would say let's get Joey up here like a month from now or something. Let's just regroup for a second. Yeah. But we have to go do it. So I do feel like, you know, I mean, look, everything's perfect. This is just the way it was going to go down, and I think it'll catch up to me. Like right now, I feel very numb. You know, I can't communicate with my best friend.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like she was almost making it easy for us by like cutting us off, because and like also the ridiculous miscommunication that I'm like, Mare, you didn't read the situation right. Like you got confused. Like please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I almost want to tell the freaking story, because I want her to hear this podcast, because I don't know if she's seen my emails where I'm like, that wasn't what you thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. Well, Cass is known for her storytelling.
I'm a great storyteller.
I told her the other day when all this was going down, I'm like, hey, I'm very accepting. It is what it is, you know.
Well,
but if you go talking about this, tell it right. You know.
Okay, well, it's going to sound bad, but
it is?
Well, because the way I tell it is going to sound bad.
It's just delicate.
So I say, I'm saying this with a clear conscience. Like, basically, Mare saw something on Sean's phone that made her go down the most paranoid spiral, probably, about you and our relationship. And I think it's funny that Joey's here, because you can just, like, put it in context. Some random number texts Sean and is like, hey, and Sean's like, who's this? And they go,
no, I say who dis.
Yeah, who dis?
I make sure when I get, because I mean, yeah, go for it. You tell the story. I'll just fill in the little.
Okay, so yeah, Sean texts back, who dis? And the person, this random number that Sean did not recognize, goes, hey, it's Sophia. Is this Peter? And you go, oh yeah, sorry. And Mare's telling me.
That was it. That was it. Like,
And so I think
because I was like, what I'm hoping for in that situation
Is like we've done it before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
where you get your hooks in somebody who's trying to scam you and you waste their time.
Yeah.
And it's really funny back and forth with someone that's probably in fucking Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And usually, like, if it goes somewhere, I'll just take the screenshots and send them to Joey, and there's tons of
Yeah.
these between each other.
I was gonna say.
But
But yeah, sorry.
yeah, I guess Mare was already suspicious of you, because why would she be looking at your phone if she wasn't already suspicious? Like, if that just tells me, like, I've kind of had, it's been less than a week and I'm still processing this, and I'm like, oh, we're just, like, not aligned, probably, in, like, a higher sense, and she knows that in some way. But we've been incredibly loyal and loving and everything that you'd want to be in a partner. Like, and we're not restrictive people, or restrictive. We don't want to be restricted or restrictive. And I think that energy can be threatening because, like, we're so loose with each other to think, like, if Mare's, like, a very monogamous person, to be with people who, like, that's not their nature necessarily, it can make you kind of like, wait, are they being monogamous with me? Which we are.
Yeah,
And we were been.
Yeah.
We were been.
Yeah.
Have
but
been, done, been.
doesn't really
were been.
matter anymore.
Have been, done, been.
But yeah, anyway, she sees something
Crunk been.
that then she messages me. Well, she's calling you Peter all of a sudden. And she's like, you should ask Sean who's Peter is. And I'm like, Sean, who's Peter? And you're like, I don't know. And then I find out that it's because of a text like that she saw. And she wrote me being like, I won't look at your next emails. Like, I need to protect myself, all this stuff. Like, I think she doesn't like you talking to any other girls, like, even non-sexually. I think I have to accept that it's like, we're not the best relationship for her. And, like, when I come down to it, I'm like, okay, I just have to trust that while it was a miscommunication that may have ended things, or like a misunderstanding that we can't even communicate about, because when you go looking in someone's phone, I've always said this, you will find the evidence of whatever you're seeking. Because she's thinking
whether it's
in her
real
head,
or not.
in her head, she's thinking, Sean's a creep. So she's like, what's the evidence that I can find that Sean's a creep? And she found it without clarifying it with you. And then she was holding that against us. I feel like I can't talk about this because it's like such a one-sided conversation.
Talk about it.
It is hard. It is a delicate situation.
Because I don't want to seem like I'm not saying, like, look, I think she's doing what's right for her. Like, I think ultimately this relationship isn't right for her. And that's fair and that's fine. It just sucks that it feels like it went down in a way where I'm like, Mare, if this is how you see everything, like, this taints everything. Like,
Yeah.
we tried to do so right by you. You know? So it's just a bummer.
Upsetting.
But I also want to say this, like, I know a lot of people are friends with Mare. Be friends with Mare, please. But don't go hitting up Mare to get her to try to talk to us or listen to this podcast or read the emails. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would do that, but I just, like, feel like I have to say that because
Yeah.
I've sent her my last email I'm going to send, and I'm just, like, respecting and trusting. Like, she doesn't need to be convinced of anything, you know. I hope that she can just remember, like, hey, we were really close and we were best friends and we got to see the sweetest side of her and she got to see the sweetest side of us. And I guess that chapter's closed, and maybe it helps to have a little bit of a grit in your teeth about it, of thinking someone's, like, up to no good or something. I don't know.
It helps her. It doesn't. It's weird. That doesn't help me
What
at
helps?
all.
What helps? I mean, it
I
helps
like
me.
just communicating and talk about, like, what's working, what's not working, how we can make it work, how, if we're not going to be romantically together anymore, how do we transition into a good friendship? Like, this is somebody I spoke to every single day. You know, every day. We'd talk on the phone for like 2 hours. I don't do that with anybody. I hate it. So it's very upsetting.
Well, she came into our life in a glorious fashion, and she's leaving in a glorious fashion, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's kind of insane and crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how to
I
make
think
sense of it,
like
honestly.
this might not make sense to people that, like, aren't in their 40s like me, who maybe can suffer more bullshit than me. But to me, when you're going in someone's phone, the relationship's already over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already taken paranoia to a place where you're taking it out on somebody's private life. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. You have suspicions that, like you're saying, you're gonna find something you don't like in there, and you think you're entitled to it. And anyone that thinks going through their partner's phone. Like, I just think it's not something that should be normalized at all.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as a person that literally has nothing to hide. Like, we're not more than this far from each other ever.
Yeah.
What am I ever doing? Listening to podcasts, watch the Mets game, fucking around with Joey. That's it. Listening to music, trying to make Church of Chill episodes. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy to be accused of something when I wouldn't even have the time to do whatever it is she thinks I'm doing. So she really must have just wanted out, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's all I have to believe is that she just like knew that it was time.
Yeah.
Like it had run its course or
yeah.
something. We took it to the end.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think once you're looking through somebody's phone, the relationship's already over, and it should be. And I think people should take their privacy more seriously and take other people's sovereignty over their lives more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a suspicion, why don't you talk to the person about it? Like, to me, it's like, even if I got caught red-handed, you found something in my phone that I did do, and you're confronting me about it, I'm like, you're just as guilty as me. And and here's how you know. Would you want the government coming and inspecting your house whenever they feel like, based on suspicion? Okay, you had nothing in there, no big deal, moving on.
Yeah.
But if you do, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
No.
We don't want that from our government. And like, all these people, they fucking rally so much, and like they have all these like principles when it comes to governments and shit. It's like, apply that to yourself, apply that to your relationships and your friends. That's what changes the fucking world. It's not going to happen in elections. It's not going to happen at a goddamn fucking protest. It happens by fucking changing you. Don't fucking behave that way. You don't want the government behaving that way? Don't behave that way yourself. Give people their privacy. If you're suspicious of them for some reason, say, I'm suspicious of as hell as you. I'm going through paranoia right now. You can ease me right now, or you can fess up to whatever the fuck you're doing. Either way, I'm not a liar.
Yeah.
I don't fucking bullshit people. I do think that like the age difference, I'm 13 years older than Mare.
Yeah.
I think the age difference plays a factor in
Yeah.
this, because I'm like, I don't think she realizes what it's like to be my age. And like, having done all that stuff in my 20s, like the fucking around, the getting caught, the fucking just, and everything in between, fucking having girls go through my phone, pull a knife on me.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I've been through some fucking shit that I don't even like thinking about. And I've let women walk all over me. And, you know, I will continue to. And, you know, I gave Mare many chances to walk all over me. And she did, you know. But, yeah, I guess if we can't be friends anymore, it's just so heartbreaking. I can't even wrap my head around it. I'm trying to think about how to make a movie with a broken heart, because, like, usually I think I'm going out there with such an open heart that people, it sparkles something in the subjects. And maybe they're discovering something about themselves that comes out on camera. And I think that's, like, really, like, the extra zest that our movies have is, like, just... It's a reflection of me and Cass. We're walking on sunshine because we're in love, you know, and we're doing what we love. And now I'm going out there feeling like I don't quite feel these full feelings yet. Like I'm almost not allowed to yet. But I'm shattered, like kind of like, you know, like fucking.
Well, just also like so misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like so misunderstood. Like you gave so much time and energy and your heart and soul to Mare, and for her to like not see you for who you are. And even want to know who you are.
That's just on a surface level, though. She knows who I am. Her body knows who I am, and she'll, you know.
Yeah.
It was only really good. Like, she got the best behaved version that's ever existed of me.
Yeah.
You can fucking vouch for that.
Yeah.
You know. So if that wasn't good enough, then like, yeah, for sure, she deserves a lot better.
And I think going out on the film, like you were saying, like with a broken heart, or you're like shattered more or less. It's like, I think it just shifts the goal to like, well, we're still going to attract exactly what we need, and it might be healing. Like it could be going out for healing, healing's sake, and then also, I feel like the situation's so delicate. It really is, and it's like at the end of the day, though, I think you probably crave some closure, as I'm sure everybody does. Like you want to always like close a book peacefully, not like tear it to shreds. In any situation.
I just don't want Mare to look at her like last 2.5 years of her life and be like, I was with assholes because of some fucking message she saw that wasn't even what she thought it was. Like I'm just like, my heart breaks for her, thinking like, oh, my partner had some elaborate secret life I didn't know about the whole time. Like, how could you trust anyone again if you think that Sean, who
but
was
can't
had
you
the
see the
secret
irony
life
in
of
it?
Peter?
Can't
like,
you see the irony in it? She has a secret life of snooping through my phone before I wake up in her apartment and screenshotting things and sending them to herself and not even remembering to delete the fucking sent thing to herself. You know what I mean? She was the one doing secret shit. She was the one doing shady shit. And I'm not going to even get into all that stuff, but because she's a good person. This is just like relationship shit. You know what I mean? But like, it's just so funny the way it manifests. It's like you're accusing somebody of something. It's just like, well, why don't you take a look at your behavior and the secret life you're living of, how do you know my passcode? When you stole my phone? What did you do it before I woke up? What the fuck are you doing? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't take that stuff lightly. I don't think anyone should. I think it's been completely normalized in relationships and young relationships. And
I did it around her age to you. It's not a high point, and we worked through it. You know, like I regret doing it. But it was something like we went in and through, I feel like, and I don't want to do it ever again. And I like having a private life. I like that you have a private life. Like not even like that we have secrets from each other. Just like I have friends that I just share my life with, and I share it in a way that I wouldn't necessarily share with you because I have a different relationship with them, and there's different things that I talk to them about, and like
I literally don't want people seeing the memes Joey and I send to each other. Like when I talk about when I'm talking about at this point in my life, when I'm talking about my privacy, my private life, I'm like, we send each other a lot of fucking weird shit. I just don't want people like looking through like Mare and taking some joke out of context and making it like all of a sudden I went from like a great boyfriend to like I was on trial, I was found guilty, and I was executed, and I didn't even know any of this was taking place. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm just shell shocked.
It's like I think another thing is like in front of Mare, Sean's like helping out a film student and like giving them feedback, and I think she got suspicious. Like, what is Sean doing talking to a young female? You know, what is he up to? And I like in the emails that who knows if Mare saw or not, I'm like, you got to remember, Joey was 20 when he wrote us.
I was a young female.
Like, these are our best friends. Like, we are always cultivating new relationships. Like, we are not threatened by people. We want to love people, and that does not mean sexually. Yeah. Like, the farthest thing from. Like, it's like we want people to succeed. We want and I know she wants that too. You know. Yeah. She has those good intentions too, but it just is a shame when she, like, it just kind of taints everything to me. When it's like you can't, I don't know, so you're trying to be nice to someone who you don't even know what they look like or who they are. You're just like wanting to give them feedback on their film and encourage them to like do.
Because they are me.
Yeah.
If I was a film student, when I was a film student, there was no way to get in touch with the me's of the world. There was just, you couldn't do it. And then now we're in an age where like people can find out like, oh, this is the dude that made a bunch of films I like. I can call him. Yeah. Or at least see. That's how I know Joey. Yeah. That's how I know fucking Trevor, Frazier. They just go down the list. Yeah. And it's always when someone's like 19 or 20 years old, they're usually like towards the end of their college thing and they're thinking about like, I want to get out in the world. Joey wanted to intern for us. This girl I'm helping out it's not even like that. She's just like, it's very broad stroke. I don't even want to get into it. It's so gross.
It's
so disgusting.
What happens is it taints like Sean even just like living his life. Like when someone is suspicious of you all of a sudden, it's like, you don't know me. Like how could you look at me with that lens? I don't know. It just becomes like upsetting. And then to be like, hey, I'm so I don't feel safe around you guys. I'm like, well, that's because you won't communicate with us. You won't even give us a chance to be like, hey, what is your worst fear? Let's air it out and see it, and then you can maybe choose to not invest in that reality. Yeah. It's a fucking bummer, man. But look, this is a phase. Mare's doing this so that she can move on with her life in a positive way. I hope it's the gift. Like, it's so ridiculous to me that I'm still like not really fully processed it because I'm like, oh, she's going to email me back, or she's going to be like, hey, sorry about that. I was a little confused. Like, you know. I don't think so. But I don't think so. And that's why I'm like, I don't want anybody speaking to Mare on art. I want you to be friends with Mare. I want you to support her art. I want you to get tattooed by her. But do not speak to her on our behalf, because hopefully she'll hear this podcast and we'll be able to communicate and at least move forward with like, hey, we didn't hate you and you don't hate us, and can we not hate each other? Like, can we just appreciate that we loved each other and that we do love each other? Like, when we were dating Mare, Sean and I very early on came up with this concept like lovers for life. you know?
Yeah, she is. She is the one we created the concept for, and the only one it applies to so far. So
I love Mare. Yeah.
I told her many times throughout this, you could take off as long as you want. You could fucking disappear for 10 years and pop back up in our life. We love you. We're here for you, and that's the way we're conducting our life, and we're not going to let this change us.
Yeah.
So she's a lover for life.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good times together. We made each other who we are right now, and yeah, I mean, she was like, we were all close friends. Like, we all had such good times together, and yeah, it's just a bummer. But sometimes people just need a break and need an in-breath, and that's cool.
Also, like, a thruple's hard, and being in a relationship with two people who aren't a very, like, couple, I can't imagine that that's easy or makes sense.
No.
And so the fact that we did this as long as we did is, like, kind of a miracle,
Yeah.
So I just appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things to be grateful for.
But our heart remains open to
For
her
sure.
always, obviously. Like, I don't want to hold anyone out, and I'm gonna, like, forgive that she wants to hold us out and just trust that it's for the best.
I've learned from like past breakups to not get super invested, because I have before, and I've let my heart got dragged around for like years after a breakup before,
Mm-hmm.
and just learned that, like, whatever is the story you need to tell about me to keep going, that's fine. Don't try to fuck with my well-being. Like, it's very fragile to begin with. It's very hard for us to make money. Strange, vague accusations
Oh yeah, don't.
could destroy our whole livelihood.
Yeah, maybe think first before getting involved with someone whose parents are lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
well,
what
I
the
don't.
fuck?
I just
We
don't.
didn't even do anything wrong.
I
What
don't
are you
even-
talking about?
I don't think in terms of ever getting litigious. I don't think in terms of wanting any power in someone's world after I'm not physically in their world anymore. And, like, I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's a guy thing. But, like, well, I don't know. Everybody can get petty, but, like, I'm not like that. Like, once it's over, it's like, I don't want any power in your world. I don't need any power. I don't need to have threats, hanging around like fucking distant storm clouds in your horizon. Like, I don't want that. I don't need that. I always just want the best for the people that, like, shared their time and their love with me, because they're a big part of my story.
Yeah.
Mare's a huge part of our story.
All
A
of ours.
huge
Like,
part of our
best
story.
part of our relationships is, like, Mare's been there.
We've said that. We were just saying that the other day when you
Yeah.
came into town. I was like, man, all of our fucking best memories are like the four of us up to no good.
Yeah.
And
Make
she's
it
like,
just-
I'm out.
It's just comical
Got
how
one
it all
little
goes
fight.
down. We're like, Mare, it seems like you don't want to be here. We'll take you home. And the reason she didn't want to be there was because she had seen this thing and come up with this story in her
A
head
week earlier.
that we didn't know about. So, like, she's like, if you're breaking up with me, like, and we're like, we're just dropping you off because you don't seem happy. And it's like, she's like,
Oh,
yeah, we're done for professionally and
Professionally.
everything.
You
Listen,
and me,
you're
we're
nice.
done professionally.
You're
You're
a
a nice
nice
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
But you and I, we're done
We're done
professionally.
professionally.
God damn it.
Mare's so mad that she doesn't want Cass to be with me anymore.
Yeah.
Well, she did get me for a second.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, this is what girls do.
I was spooked.
This is
she's
what
like,
girls
she's
do.
like, he's 100% lying to you. He has a secret life. He's been
Cass was like, well, I've
luring-
been with this man for 12 years. I live with his family. Let me go through his phone and find out if he's up to some shit.
I
I'm
didn't.
like, cool. Have fun.
No.
Have fun with this, and you and Mare can do your little back and forth. And I'm going to make a movie, and at some point, you should honor and respect my privacy
I
and
do.
my age,
I do.
and that I really don't have, like, an office or a place to go. Like, I'm just very vulnerable, and anyone could look through my shit if they
I don't
wanted.
care if people
You know
are
what I
flirting
mean?
with people on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
whatever gives you a little zhuzh in your life, like, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
Like, I think that's
agree.
where Mare and us were ultimately, like, unaligned. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you got a little zhuzh out of creating the secret name Peter and luring people to talk to you, like, given that we
I
aren't away
wouldn't
from
even,
each other,
like-
I'm like, I don't go for it. Like,
I
are
wouldn't
you
even
serious?
know how to do whatever she thinks I'm up to.
I know.
You know, that's the funny thing. I don't know how to order Seamless. I don't know how to get an Uber. I don't know how to do Venmo.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do anything. I really don't know how to do anything. It's like I have a secret persona that I'm
Peter does.
doing what with? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, that is a creative person who's mischanneling that. It's
Yeah.
like, instead of a week of paranoia and a breakup, it should have been an album, you know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that
It
was
will be. I'm sure it will
that was
be.
that was just a misdirected, like, the energy, that the creative energy and storytelling that should have gone into an album that would be very fantastical went towards your boy here. And I'm like, okay, and I think the only reason it's not completely paralyzing me right this second is because we have to make a movie, and because I've been through it before, and I've been through it with her, and I don't know, you just learn how to fucking ride the wild a little bit.
It's also kind of easy when someone's like false accusations. You're like, I mean, it's not fun, but it's also like, come on, are you serious? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I guess it's funny. She wants me in jail. Like
Yeah.
Mare wants, like we didn't even have an argument. It was just like, it seems like you don't want to be at my parents' house, and they're very sensitive. Let's get you back down to the city. This isn't fun. And it's like, you're a predator.
Yeah.
Like,
You're Peter Predator.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's the big bad wolf, or this cultural story that's happening right now is like
Well, that's
Right.
yeah. I mean, when it's been done to me before, it was very ripe thing to do. We had a previous girlfriend when she left.
This
Fucking
time
had to tell all the stories that were literally like torn from the headlines. It's like they go through a newspaper, find like the buzzwords to accuse men of, and then just start throwing them at me. I'm like, this has nothing to do with me. I'm not fucking Donald Trump or whoever you're mad at. But it says a lot about you that you need a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And anytime I felt like I need a demon, you got to check yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
little raw.
Yeah.
It's a little raw.
Definitely.
It's a little raw.
Definitely. I mean, as love is, love it helps you ascend to the highest heights, but then sometimes you gotta crash down. It's not always an easy.
I knew this
landing.
breakup would always be gnarly.
Yeah.
I'm like, in some ways, the
It's
fact
not-
that we didn't actually.
This isn't even gnarly.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah.
not even that gnarly, because it's like there's almost like the level of ridiculousness that kind of is like, wait, what just happened? Makes it kind of easy, because you're like, oh, if you were that quick to push us away, like we should not be together.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're that, and if your plan is like, okay, to like cut the cord where we can't even like acknowledge the good times we had, or be friends, or hang out, or do it. I mean, like, I get it. It's hard when you've like been intimate with people to like navigate a friendship, and I understand that it's probably not for the best in most cases, but
Oh, she doesn't owe us anything.
no, she doesn't owe us anything. Of
She
course
doesn't.
not. She gave us a lot, and she was so
Yeah.
sweet, and we saw like the sweetest side of Mare, and we had so many fun times, and
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
Mare. I know you're missing her, and it's like that's I'm sure. I don't think any party is walking away really fully like fulfilled, or at least having like a nice closure. Because like again, it's like something so spectacular, like such a great love. It's like there's a respect to it that you'll try to make it at least like everyone walks away positive. I try to do that with my relationships. I try not to.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Yeah, but it's still like it's hard, and again, like I said, it's a very delicate situation because you guys know Mare inside and out. I don't think you guys have overwhelming love for her, if anything.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like
no, I like tried to be like, she's being a bitch with this whole thing. And I was like, I can't even say that.
Language.
Please.
I was like, but I was like,
Take it down.
but I was like, I don't
Please.
even believe that. Like,
Please.
I believe that, like, if she's feeling this way about Shawnee Boy, who's been so good to her, that she's just confused and got confused, and that's
Yeah.
easy to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
like, I
it
can't
happens.
even like be that mad at her. I'm just like, this
Yeah.
is just some confusion that I guess is happening for a reason,
Yeah.
to set her free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally zoom out and detach and see the reasoning for all of it, and forgive, and be very compassionate, and but also be like smart enough to know, like, I'm not going to allow that to happen to myself, me personally. I understand why people do that, and I understand why people do it to each other, but I'm not going to be able to like be as creative and put out as much stuff as I want to put out in the next few years with that level of volatility, like just even available, Does that make sense?
Like giving your power away.
Just the fact that level of volatility could come into existence right before we're about to go do a very important thing. Like it stifles my creativity and my light a little bit.
I feel like you're putting some walls up around your heart.
Yeah, no, and that's what I always say on this podcast is like, don't do that, especially in the wake of heartbreak, is because your ego sends out these fucked up, methed up construction workers to build these twisted walls out of all this garbage, but it's somehow impenetrable. Yeah. So, you gotta
meth steel.
Yeah, you gotta say, boys, everybody, you gotta talk to all the
Call it
boys,
off.
every cell in your body.
Stand
boys,
down, stand by.
Boys. Yes, yes. Stand by, stand down, but also do remember stand by.
Yeah.
But stand down.
But stand down.
Stand down for now, and I think that's the only reason I can even go on the road right now is because I've told the boys stand down, but they are standing by.
They're standing by,
and that's I'm like, oh God, am I gonna fucking deal with like a fucking midsummer like oh God, like, and be so far removed from even being able to. I mean, I wasn't able to contact Mare 30 seconds after this happened. Like, she got out of the car and I was not. I was blocked on everything, and I was like, I mean, it makes it easy for me. It fucking kills me, but it makes it easy for me because I'm like, oh, well, I was already found guilty. I didn't even know I was on trial. I didn't even know there was charges.
Like,
I
who's
would've-
Peter?
I would
No one
have
served me.
I wouldn't have even pled not guilty. I would have said no contest.
Yeah.
This is not. We're dealing in two different
Call the number.
realities.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. You screen grab a fucking thing. Call the number that I'm being suspicious with.
That'd be good,
Call it.
actually. Yeah.
That would be the base level if you're going to run an investigation that is going to end in a breakup. Because once I discover, oh, you're sending screenshots from my phone to yourself, I'm done.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, you might as well fucking do the investigation. Call the fucking number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bizarre, but that's not the reason she broke up. So.
She already broke up.
Cass is caught up on that. Like,
No,
but
I know.
I'm like,
she broke up with you when she went through your phone. Like, she was already like, I just don't trust this guy. I've been with him for 2.5 years, and I just don't trust him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So you should trust the person you're with for however long, you know, and then if not, communicate to the place where you can get to that trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust is a hard thing, and you have to, like, build it up. I remember when I lied to my dad once about, like, because he found, like, a blunt and some pills in my backpack or something in, like, high school. And essentially I was just like, my friend just gave me, like, cheek Klonopins. Like, he took them in the morning, and he just take them out. Like, he put them in his cheek. I know, right?
Really not learn anything in school.
Yeah, it was crazy. But no, I mean, I never really did pills. I literally, like, that was the first and only time I bought pills. It was just me and my friends wanted to, like, just try them. And, my parents found them or whatever, and I, like, made up a lie about it somehow. Like, I was like, no, those were Adderall. I got them from my friend Matt. Like, that's all. They were like, what? And I was like, oh, I got them from Matt. And then fucking Matt comes over for dinner, and we're all eating dinner. And, like, my dad's just like, because he's like, oh, Matt, that was a little upset. I don't even remember, but, like, that was a little upsetting or something he said. And he's like, I didn't sell Joey anything. And he's like, looks at me, and I was like, yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Oh, Joey.
And he's like,
Joey.
no, you didn't.
Joe boy.
I know.
You're not meant to be a liar.
No,
you're not good at that.
No, I gave it up. It's like, unless it's dire circumstances, then I think I'm actually a really, really good liar.
Mm-hmm.
If it needs to be lied about, but if I'm just hurting somebody I love because I bought pills, like, I'm like, it's almost like I love the person so much I couldn't lie to them.
Well,
like,
how did your dad handle this?
So yeah, then, like, he sat me down at one point, and he's like, hey, like, our trust bank, like, it's at 0. He's like, it's at 0 right now. You got to build it up. He's like, it's negative. And he's like, essentially, like, explained a whole, I don't remember, he said it very eloquently, like, how, what trust is and how
Brene Brown has something like that.
it is.
Like, she uses gumballs,
Joey's dad's a heavy hitter, man.
Yeah,
I almost think I got out easier having a crackhead dad than to have these like heavy conversations with like life lessons, and I'm like I was the one doing that to my dad.
I'm so thankful for them too. By the way, at the same time, like,
of course,
yeah. When I stole from fucking Party Depot, I stole a chicken mask. We used to steal so much shit there, fireworks, like everything, and I came home and I was in the basement with a chicken mask on, and my sister's like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that from?" And I was like, "Oh, I stole it from Party Depot." And she's like, "Can I show like Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Just don't tell him that I stole it." And she goes upstairs, and my dad's like, "Oh my, that's hilarious. Where'd you get it from?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Joey stole it from Party Depot, I think." And then
Your
just to get me
siblings
in
are
trouble.
snitches,
My
man.
not my youngest sister. My older sister would snitch on me. So that's what literally just such snitches. And so then my dad was like, because I got a bar mitzvah, I got like $2,000 for my bar mitzvah, and he's like, hey, like, you know, man, he's like, as a man, he's like, you may have graduated in that sense, but you're not a man. He's like, so I'm gonna take that away from you. So he took it was like $4,000, $2,000 or something I don't remember.
See, when my dad stole
yeah.
my money, it was just for his crack.
Yeah.
It was the same. It wasn't wrapped in a life lesson. Like, fuck, this sounds like an episode of fucking Full House to me. Well, Joey, you messed up, and now you're not gonna get fucking $4,000.
Oh
like,
my God,
what?
damn. Well, I mean,
$4,000. If my family, not just me, ever saw $4,000 in our fucking life, that would have been life-changing money
I
for
think
my
It would have
family.
been a lot of crack.
Yeah. I think it was like I don't even remember. It might have been 2,000, 4,000 something, but it was for my bar mitzvah because like in the tradition, everyone who comes to the bar mitzvah,
they
they'll
gotta
give
hook
you.
it up. It's like a wedding.
Yeah, it's literally like a gift to you as a man to like build upon with, and yeah, so he's like, nope, and I'm like, all right, well,
All right.
word, all right.
Now
word.
that could have backfired on
I'll
him.
keep stealing for about 4 more years, and then I'll stop.
Yeah, it could have backfired in the like you break bad because of that.
No, yeah, as I
Where
said,
you're like fuck him.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
start like misbehaving, but you're good at like.
I still did. I did do that like for a while, but it wasn't like yeah. Me and my dad in like 9th grade, 10th grade, I was like fuck him. I'll just do whatever. That's when I started smoking weed and like just doing whatever. And but yeah, that's But yeah, God, you know, it's like I said though, I was like, but I never really like my friends who I hung around with. They felt like the whole like some of them got into heroin, all this shit. Like, me and my friends like Cody, like we'd hang around those people. We'd kind of be hanging around the hole. We wouldn't be falling in exactly because like we both had families that like even though Cody's family is so like that was crazy and tumultuous, like they still loved him and they knew who he was and who I was. So like I couldn't be that like bullshit version of myself with my family. Like they wouldn't let me kind of like,
Yeah, I've always just been a real raw motherfucker.
You're a raw dog.
I really am, and I just assume that you either love me for it or hate me for it, and if you hate me for it, just stay away. I think Mare just started hating me for it, so.
Well, I love you for it.
I love you for it.
It was funny though, because for a second with the accusations, I was like, "What? Really?" And then when she sent me the screenshot of the receipt she had, I was like, "Oh, I know what this is."
Yeah.
I know I can't. I gotta stop harping on it because it's so
Yeah.
much bigger than this one little moment. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, that's where you and I get tangled up a little bit.
Because you're like looking at the big picture, and I'm like, but if she could only just understand, it was not. It was you don't know this person.
I'm like, I just lost my muse.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
don't care how it happened.
Yeah.
I didn't think that with the level of love we shared, I didn't think that was a possibility.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
So
thought you
it
get to a
hurts.
place where you like you get the benefit of the doubt, you get open communication, not like fucking 8th grade games. But
And no doubt, definitely hurts. Like it's a fucking in any relationship, man, woman, whatever, any type of ending like that, it's like it hurts like feeling that from somebody or like a situation and like
yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry about all of it. I'm sorry to everyone who watches our podcast. Mare was the fucking best.
They're like, this
what the
podcast
fuck?
is a bummer.
yeah, this one's a bummer. And your favorite person who is on the podcast, like 50 plus episodes, when she was like, you need to make them all
Still
go
my
away.
favorite.
Oh, yeah,
Still
yeah.
my favorite. I think Mare should do like stand-up comedy. To be honest.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna be great at whatever she puts her focus towards.
Probably comedy, but
Yeah, she would be really good at it.
No, yeah,
and
yeah.
she could probably make a lot of strides really quick.
I would
you
be
know?
scared if she joined the scene because I'd be in competition with her.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah.
No, she was really good at this relationship until she didn't want to do it anymore. So it was like, Mare's the best. So I doubt Mare heard this, but if she did, all our podcasts with her are unlisted. So if you're on Patreon, you can still access them, you know.
Yeah.
you know,
For now.
For now, until we have to delete them. But I'm like almost like not making them totally deleted because I'm like, I'll give her a reason to email me.
Excuse me.
You're ridiculous.
Get the cease and desist.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you better delete us off your albums then.
She probably already did.
She probably already did. I haven't even checked.
Yeah.
God, we're gonna try to bring you some laughs and more interesting people and fun stories and the good. I mean, if you've been with us pre-Mare, you know the good times just keep rolling. We'll just keep it going.
Mm.
I think that's the Third Amendment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Third Amendment. Your Third Amendment right ensures that you let the good times roll.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I
And
believe.
Yeah, it's every man's right, and I guess some women. I don't know if that was part of the Constitution.
Well, whether
Did
or not
wo-
I'm amending it so that at least
Did
I
women
get
ever get the right to let the good times roll?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I can't remember. No.
We invented the good times, you motherfuckers.
No, girls let the good times roll. Girls let their good times roll.
Yeah,
But in the
yeah.
More than
Constitution,
you
it says-
sensitive asses.
It says yeah, I am very sensitive. I would never say I'm not.
To both of you today, I had to be like, give you the pep talk of
I
like,
know.
can we let the good times
It was
roll,
nice.
please?
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
strong.
I just gave Joey like a hour-long pep talk, and I
Yeah.
come into Sean, and I'm like, I got nothing left for you, man. Like,
I
you
was
know,
like,
there's
my dad's
just-
just killing me today.
Yeah.
He won't stop. I don't know what you're talking to
No,
Joey
you're-
about, but like I got fucking
Yeah.
my dad up my ass.
But no, Cass is a great team player, and
Yeah,
yeah, just awesome.
and we need you fully here for this.
Yeah.
And not like in thinking you're in some misunderstanding with Mare.
Oh,
That's
no,
just the excuse she
I
needed
sent
to
the
get
email,
out of
I
the
sent
relationship.
everything I could.
You can't focus too much on that. That's just
Yeah.
what she needed to get away and
stay away and just be like,
yeah,
and scare us off from her too.
Exactly.
Like you contact me and I will get legal and you know, like okay,
Okay.
okay. Oh goddamn.
Yeah. Double Life. That's a great song by the Cars. Yeah.
Is there any good Peter songs? Oh no, there's.
Well, you want to know? I probably created this whole thing. If I want to come out about this,
Oh shit.
for 6 months I did live a double life.
What
Oh,
did you
let's talk
do?
about this on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Can
doing
we-
one.
Yeah, let's do a Patreon because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we talked a bunch of shit on here,
Okay.
and I want to be able to be a little bit more open.
And I'll feel more comfortable on the
yeah,
Patreon
yeah.
talking about this.
This
All
is
right.
hilarious.
All right, it is
Join
fun.
us on patreon.com/churchofchill for part 2. And there's part 2s to a lot of your favorite episodes, and the part 2s are oftentimes better. So check them out on Patreon. We could use the support now more than ever. We might have legal fees coming up. We don't know, I don't know what's going on right now, but our life is like, it's coming apart at the seams, so we're calling on Wild Magic. Throw us $1 or $2 or $5 or $10 or $50. I don't know. Just throw us some fucking money
Throw us
on
some money.
Patreon and check out
Food stamps.
all of the content we have on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we love you, and thank you so much for supporting us and hearing this one out. We needed
Yeah.
to do a
Love you.
podcast
Yeah.
and get
Yep.
some shit off our chest and
That's
update
where
you.
we're at.
This is where we're at.
Rumspringa.
Yes, it's that double life.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the Patreon.